Barakatay Hawa, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kodash. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one is entitled, Especially in These Times. Now, this is a title that came to me last week. Some crazy dream I was having. But then I remember waking up from a bugged out dream, and just that those words were in my head, especially in these times. And pretty much, what I perceived from it was you're gonna have a lot of snake shit going on, like I had mentioned in the last live show. That was that the spirit had me do. And not only that, just everything else that's gonna come with the territory of the great persecution and the great insurrection that's going to be brought upon the people of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. We're in that time right now, and it's pretty much just got a hold of the world, but what it is a slow, like a slow rear-naked choke or slow stranglehold, where the individual that's administering the choke is so skilled and patient that he's waiting, and slowly but surely, applying the pressure until he gets it locked in where he wants it, and then really go for the full pressure. And those of you brothers that's ever done MMA or any of those locks or whatever, you know what I'm talking about. And that's pretty much what we see going on around the world at this time. Is the international banking families putting a stranglehold on the world. Salakia. So especially in these times, we're going to need faith. We're going to need protection from what's coming. We're going to need that spiritual intervention from Yahweh Bashem Yahushai to be able to survive the said perils that are coming down the pike. And our job that has made us an enemy to this world is to inform Jake, to inform the nations of what's coming. But although we're given the warnings, a lot of Israelites are not going to take heed. But that's neither here nor there. That's not a consequence what we have to worry about. What we have to worry about is doing the will of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai and finishing that race, that course. So that's why we do what we do, through the spirit and inspiration of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And this is why we're being targeted. They're trying to ban the Bibles, which we've been saying that for years, way back before anybody really was talking about it. They're trying to ban any form of truth, and they're using the guise of terrorism, terrorists, and things and words like that to identify anyone that goes against the agenda of the New World Order as a potential enemy or as an enemy, period. And although the signs are evident out there, a lot of Israelites are still not giving heed. But as I said, it's not a consequence to us, because if we endure to the end, we're still going to receive the reward that the Lord promised us. So what I want to do is I want to start off in the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 15. I'm going to read a couple of verses, and Lord's will, come back and read a few more. Let's see how the Spirit rolls. 2nd Ezra 15:1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people, who are the Lord's people, the Israelites, the words of prophecy, because that's the most important thing in these times, is prophecy, which means to say before. Because once it goes down, like the scriptures say, then shall they know that a prophet has been among them. Because the prophets, when they came around, it was normally not for peace. When the prophets came around, it was usually for some form of judgment that the Lord was about to bring, you know, to Israel or to the nations, depending on the message that was being brought. So in these times, the message is not nice. And the only ones that are going to receive any benefit of it are the elect of the nation of Israel, the ones that have the seal of the living power, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, because we didn't put these words in our mouths. It was the Lord that did. That's why all of us have a testimony, a story, a way that how we were in the world and came into this. And none of us that are in this truth stumbled across this truth by accident. It was all predestined, whether for good or for evil, because you have those that were brought into this of good faith because they are part of the elect, and you have those that have crept in unawares, because you have to have both sides. That's why Yahushua said, woe unto the world because of offenses, but for it must needs that offenses must come, but woe unto them by whom the offense cometh. You know, so everything is necessary, both sides of the spectrum. So we're to teach whether they listen or not. It says, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true, because everything that the Lord said is faithful and true. That's why it says, what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? It says, no, the Lord forbid. Let the Most High be true and every man a liar, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings and mightest overcome when thou art judged. Why? Because we're standing upon the principles and the oracles of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai through the doctrine that they have taught us, and not of our own minds. And that's what's going to trump anything else. Not Donald. Inside joke. It says, fear not the imagination against it. Yeah, because when you start teaching this truth, there's a lot of vain imaginations that come with this. A lot of hatred that comes from it. A lot of deceit. You know, a lot of, you know, underhandedness. You know. And this is also something that we have to watch for. That's why you men that's been in Great Millstone for a number of years, that are leaders, camp leaders and all that, it's up to you to watch and keep your eyes open of your surroundings. And that's why Elder Apostle Tahar gave the order that no more new members were able to come in, because there was a stop put on that. Because you have a lot of agents that are infiltrating. See, them other groups, they let anybody in because their whole thing is about numbers, you know. And this thing is not about quantity, it's about quality. And the Apostle Paul told Timothy to teach men that will be able to teach others. So it's not about getting a great multitude so that everybody can pay their tithes and offerings and donations, and then the ones that are teaching get rich. No. It's about the quality of the men and the women that are to be brought into this thing for salvation. You know? Because if it was like that, we just let anybody in. You know, but you could be letting in a potential agent. You know, you could be letting in a potential demon. You know, that's why you have to keep your eyes open. We have to keep our eyes open, especially in these times. And that's another, you know, part of it, especially in these times. Like the name of the lesson is. Verse 4. I'm sorry. Fear not the imagination against thee. Let not the incredulity or the unbelief of them trouble thee that speak against it. Yeah, because you're going to have a lot that's going to speak against us. But guess what? You know, the Lord is going to appear to our glory, and he's going to appear to their shame. Because at the end, like the scriptures say, then shall be known who are my chosen. So it's going to be made manifest. And that's why we're going through a period right now where the Lord is making it known who's teaching the truth and who's not. That's why you have all these different groups speaking about stuff that's totally bugged out. Because the Lord said that when he's making up his fair jewels, that's going to take place. He's going to separate, you know, the ones that are teaching the truth from the ones that are not. Because at the end of the day, you're either teaching the truth or you're not. There's no in between. There's no 50, 50, There's no 60-40, there's no 70-30, 85-50, none of that. 100%. Because 99 and a half just won't do. Gotta have 100, you know, which that was, I believe that was Wilson Pickett. All right, so it goes on to say, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. And that's the point. So our job is to teach, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear. Because if they hear and get involved, then they are a potential candidate for the elect. And if they are the elect, their salvation will come once the Lord gives out the reward. But if they don't hear, they don't listen, then they've sealed their judgment already, because they were already going to be judged anyway. But the Lord made it apparent, and by their actions and their words, sealed their fate, so to speak. Right? It says, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction, because there's going to be many troubles that are going to be brought out, and that are already brought out in this world. Perilous times, which are happening. That's why you have, you know, the riots down in South Africa. You know, you have the, you know, different skirmishes and riots that have broken out all over the world. And the main reason why it's breaking out all over the world is because of the oppression of the, you know, tyrannical governments that are established, that are officiating the business of the international bankers through America. You know, that's the majority of the people of these different countries are upset, because as long as you let them live, have their resources, have their wealth, you know, their food and all that, they're not going to jump up and start causing trouble and havoc just for no reason, rioting for no reason. But take away their living, take away their resources, take away their food, you know, put them in a very bad predicament, and they're going to come out fighting. And that's what you see going on all around the world. These riots breaking out, whether they're engineered or not, are breaking out because of the injustices, and the pretty much the people of the world are tired of this devil, and they're tired of tyranny. And that's what's causing all of this trouble, because that's the Heavenly Father stirring up the pot, because we're coming to the end. Everything has a beginning, everything has an end. When you're cooking a meal, the meal has an end to it. You know, so we're past the point of preparation. We're past the point of you know, anything, you know, adding the seasonings and all that. We're at the point now of where the meal is just about prepared. You're just about to get ready to turn off that stove or turn off that oven. In other words, the Lord is about to turn the stove off in the oven, because the meal is cooked. But, you know, sometimes you give it that extra 5 or 10 minutes, you know, to let it really absorb the flavors into the meat, into the vegetables and all of that, you know. So that's the point that we're at. We're at the very end, you know, of the meal that has been prepared by Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. But there's just a few more little finishing touches that you have to wait on. Like if you're cooking, whatever you're cooking, you know, like let's say you want to add parsley or cilantro or spinach. Usually right after you finish cooking it, then you'll throw these spices in. You may have some in there, you know, before while you're cooking, but you might throw them at the end so that they won't lose their potency, so to speak. Because after a while, you know, vegetables and stuff, leafy vegetables, you know, they lose, you know, their nutritious value because overcooking. But then at the end, when you throw it and everything is done, you just throw it in there, mix it in, let it, you know, let it simmer, and boy, you got a meal. So the Lord is about to serve that meal He's been preparing, you know, going all the way back, you know, during the time of Elder Abba Bivens, the other elders after him, all the way up until today, what you see today. So it says, for wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth. Because remember, this is a whole earth affair, a whole earth event in the oikumene sense. Like you have the word ecumenical, you know, those ecumenical councils that they used to have in the Roman Catholic Church. That goes back to the word oikumene, which means the whole world. Now, when they had those councils, they weren't talking about the whole world per se, but just the known world where so-called Christendom was ruling over, you know. But now it has encompassed the whole planet Earth. All of these things have encompassed the whole planet Earth. So wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are what? Fulfilled. So the Lord doesn't stir anything until what? The set measure is fulfilled. So we're crossing that threshold now of where it's being fulfilled. And there's a reason why this book, called the Bible, Biblos, which is it comprises many different books that make up one book, and there's a reason why it was written in the way that it was written, and the reason why the things are in here the way they are is because this was going to be a witness against us in these times, against the nations, against whoever, was addressed in these books, which is pretty much the whole world. So when we read the book of Deuteronomy 31, and we can start at the 16th verse, it says, "And the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai said unto Moses, Behold, thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, and this people," meaning the Israelites, "will rise up and go a-whoring after the gods of the strangers of the land, whether they go to be among them, and will forsake me and break my covenant which I made with them." So what was the penalty for that? There were many different penalties, and that's why we went into captivity. That's why in Daniel it says, "For under the whole heaven has not been done as had been done unto Israel." Salaki, let me pour a little bit of this tea. I can't call it my delicious hot coffee. Chocolate coffee. As this other individual calls it. I don't have coffee today. It's tea. That's for tea time. Inside joke. So this word is pretty much a witness against us, because the Lord already knew that Jake was going to corrupt themselves, once they got into the land. And this is pretty much where we're at. So the scriptures say that the evils that have been done in the world, they had not been done any like has been done to the nation of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, and the Israelite foreigners, wherever they may be and whatever they may look like, because we can't fail to mention them, because that is the full spectrum, of the truth. All 12 tribes coming back together. And this time it's talking about the elect. And the kingdom is all Israel. All right. Now, let's go back. Deuteronomy 31:17. "Then my anger shall be kindled against them in that day, and I will forsake them." And that's why we find ourselves in the condition that we're in. "And I will hide my face from them." See? So when the Lord hid his face from us, what happened? All type of calamities fell upon us. The nations rolled on us. We lost everything. We became tributary to the other nations, slaves, and everything else that you see in between. Right? It says, and I'm interested to see what this new movie that's coming out, that The Rock is bringing out, called Black Adam. I'm sorry, not Black Adam. Black Adam. I believe it's, Black Adam. And he said a couple of things that was kind of interesting. He spoke about 5,000 years ago, which that's around the time of Adam. He spoke about, being in slavery back then, but really all throughout history, Jake's been in slavery under the other nations. So, it's interesting to see what that's gonna bring, or what messages will be in there. And it's funny how it's called Black Adam, because the original Adam was a so-called Negro, so-called black man. There was no such thing as no white Adam or the Edomite Adam. That's just a figment of Esau's imagination through the Renaissance period. So it's interesting to see what that's going to be. And actually, it was a play off of Shazam. You know, they did a separate movie off of Shazam. So it says, then my anger shall be kindled against them in the day, and in that day, and I will forsake them, and I will hide my face from them, and they shall be devoured. See, and we have been devoured. That's why it says, my people are destroyed for what? For lack of knowledge. You know? My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, right? It says, and many evils and troubles, see, here we go, the troubles, shall befall them, so that they will say in that day, are not these evils come upon us, because our power is not among us? And that's exactly why. Because we forsook the Most High, Yahweh Bashem El Shai, He forsook us. You know? So now the Lord is allowing us to get back into His good graces, which started 2,000 years ago with the sacrifice of Yahweh Shai being crucified and opening up a better way, a new hope for us. You know, so in these times when we started waking back up, this is the Lord, you know, causing the bones to come back together, the sinews and the blood vessels and everything that supplies the body would be these laws, statutes, and commandments. Because it's not just about coming together because you're a so-called black man or a so-called Latino or a so-called Native American Indian. It's about coming back to your nationality of who you are, of your laws, statutes, commandments, you know, to understand what the plans of the Heavenly Father are and His Son, Yahweh Shai. You know, to understand what's about to happen and what the future of this world is, to understand who the people of the earth are and who are they separated into as far as nationality is concerned. Because every person on the planet Earth goes back to either Shem, Ham, or Japheth, which were the three sons of Noah who repopulated the earth after the flood. Because prior to that, every man, woman, and child was put to death, drowned by the flood, except for 8 souls, which was Noah, his 3 sons, and their 4 wives. You know, so everyone goes back to that. So now we have the full spectrum, the whole picture. And when we say we have 100% truth, you have individuals out there that get mad, you know, about that. But it's the truth. There's only one truth, one faith, you know, one power, one doctrine. So if you get mad about that, then, hey, so be it. And I'm not talking about the Soviet Union. It says, verse 18, and I will surely hide my face in that day for all the evils which they shall have wrought, and that they are turned unto other gods. And this has been the bane of our existence. Goddamn idol worship. Lord. Now therefore write ye this song for you, and teach it the children of Israel. Listen good. Excuse me, put it in their mouths, that this song may be a witness, see, for me against the children of Israel. And this is why you have devils like Vocab, the Khazar Malone, you know, that get upset with us when we say that the curses of the Bible fit us. And it's the truth. Because it would be a witness against us. These things would be signs upon us and our children, so on and so forth, to determine in these latter days who the Israelites are. That's where the Lord left certain characteristics. He left certain curses, you know, certain things that would be happening to identify who the children of the Lord are. The Spirit beareth witness with our spirit that we are the sons of the living power. See? So it says, for when I shall have brought them into the land which I swear unto their fathers, that floweth with milk and honey, and they shall have eaten and filled themselves. Remember it says in the next chapter, Jeshurun waxed fat and kicked, and waxing fat, then will they turn unto other gods and serve them, and provoke me and break my covenant. And that's the wrong thing to do. You know, we don't want to be on the bad side of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. We want to be on the good side, on the favorable side, you know? Because once the Lord really starts opening up, it ain't going to be too good. It ain't going to look too good, man, you know? And like the scriptures say that the Most High, Yahweh, he's long suffering. You know, he's long suffering. God damn, he's long suffering, man. That's why it says that what if the Most High willing to make his power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction, which is Esau. And you could apply that to 2/3 of Jake and whoever's gonna be destroyed, but that's mainly dealing with Esau, because when you read up above that, it's talking about Jacob and Esau coming from the same lump. One vessel unto honor, which was Jacob, and one vessel unto dishonor, which was Jacob. I'm sorry, which was Esau. Salaki, that was a slip of the tongue. So it goes on to say, and it shall come to pass when many evils and troubles are befallen them, that this song shall testify against them as a witness. For it shall not be forgotten out of the mouths of their seed. For I know their imagination, which they go about even now, before I have brought them into the land which I swear. So the Lord's already breaking it down to Moses to teach it to Israel that they were already, we were going to go off, period. Right? Now, when we jump to the 28th verse, it says, gather unto me all the elders of your tribes and your officers, that I may speak these words in their ears, and call heaven and earth to record against them. For I know that after my death you will utterly corrupt yourselves and turn aside from the way which I have commanded you, and evil will befall you in the latter days. So this is where we're at right now. It says, because you will do evil in the sight of the Lord, to provoke him to anger through the word of your hands, through the works of your hands. And Moses spake in the ears of all the congregation of Israel the words of this song until they were ended. To be what? A witness. Now let's go to the same book, Deuteronomy 4, and let's start at 27. It says, and the Lord shall scatter you among the nations, and you shall be left few in number among the heathen, whither the Lord shall lead you. And there you shall serve gods, the work of men's hands, wood and stone, which neither see nor hear, nor eat, nor smell. But if from thence thou shalt seek the Lord, so you seek the Lord, what? While he may be found, thy power, thou shalt find him. And that's what we're finding him now, because the Lord is drawing us to him. Yahushua said, no man can come to me except the Father draw him, and I will raise him what? Up what? At the last days. You know, and so in these days, Yahushua is raising us back up. If thou seek him with all thy heart and with all thy soul, when thou art in tribulation, and all these things are come upon thee, even in the latter days, if thou turn to the Lord thy power, and shall be obedient unto his voice, for the Lord thy power is a merciful power, he will not forsake thee, neither destroy thee, nor forget the covenant of thy fathers, which he sware unto them. And this is why a door of grace has been opened back up to us, because it was closed for a certain period of time. And that's why you see what's going on now being taught. Because prior to this, the things that are being brought out now, they weren't being taught. You know, the books, the deep breakdown and prophecies of Daniel and Revelation, especially Revelation, they weren't being taught. Because you had some scholars that were breaking down certain historical things in the book of Daniel that were prophetic, because it's history and it already happened. You know, but especially in the book of Revelation and other books too, that are being brought out that no one ever heard before. Why? Because we're in the latter days, and the Lord said that he won't pretty much move until everything is fulfilled. And then he'll open up on this devil fully. So we're about to witness the floodgates of hell that the Most High is going to unleash on these devils. The floodgates of hell that the Lord will unleash on the Edomites or on the nations. It's a good title. I mean, it may have to be, shortened a little bit. The floodgates of hell that are about to be unleashed on these nations. Wow. All right, so let's go from there. Oh, man. Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 7. Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even a time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. See? So this is what we're coming to. We're coming to the time where, the Israelites that are going to be in this predicament of Jacob's trouble, there's going to be certain ones of them that's going to be delivered out of it. Because we're in the latter days, when the Lord is coming to redeem his elect, buy back his elect, reconcile his elect. Because there's going to be a change of worlds. There was a book written years ago. I believe that was Elder Abba Bivens, if I'm not mistaken. Or it could have been High Priest Yaquab, Elder High Priest Yaquab. But I believe it was Elder Abba Bivens that wrote the book. And pretty much it was called A Change of Worlds, if I'm not mistaken on the title. And pretty much that's exactly what's going to happen, because when we read in Isaiah and when we read in 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, it speaks about, this corrupt society being destroyed and a new kingdom being established. And that new kingdom that's going to be established is going to be established in righteousness, which is the kingdom of Yahushua / Israel. The real Israelites, not those fake phony frauds that you see over there in the land today. Although, as hard as it may seem to swallow down, you're going to have Israelites among them that look like them. But their line goes back to one of the tribes, whether it be so-called Negro, so-called Latino, so-called Native American Indian. Remember, Jake's been scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And there was no coincidence that, when them devils came over here, they took Gadites and different, Ephraimites and other tribes and brought them back over to Europe. So you have a lot of people over there that's calling themselves Europeans, or they may be calling themselves Irish or Scottish or whatever the case may be calling themselves, and look like so-called white people or other nations, but they're really Israelites. And that's going to mess a lot of individuals up, because the average Israelite out there that's awoke is about as spiritual as a wooden nickel. And that's real talk, man, because, they can't see beyond the flesh. They can't look into a man's spirit and his mannerisms, because you could tell the difference between somebody that's faking the funk, and somebody that's really doing what they're doing because that's a part of their character. You could tell the difference between a wigger and a Jake that looks like an Edomite. It's the flavor. The flavor cannot be duplicated. The flavor cannot be, it's often imitated, but never duplicated. Inside joke. Don't let me get Andy B. bad on y'all. Just inside joke, but it's the truth. You can't fake certain things. Just like if you can't sing, you can't sing. If you can't dance, you can't dance. If you can't play instruments, you can't play instruments. If you can't rap, you can't rap. Vocab. Oh, Lord. So we're in the time now where everything is witnessing who the people of the Lord are. And there's going to come an onslaught, as the scriptures call it, an insurrection, a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. So let's go from there to the book of Isaiah 14. And this is why the Lord has us out here in these streets. First and foremost, to curse out and to call in and comfort the Israelites. Isaiah 58:1. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up the voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions, and the house of Jacob their sins. And the ones that take heed, comfort them. You know, read the scriptures, comfort them that, look, although we're in this condition and we've been through what we've been through, help is coming, help is on the way. There is hope. Then the other reason why we're out here is to curse these devils out, whether it be Edomites or other nations, and telling them about their future and the judgments that are coming for them. That's why when we read in the book of Isaiah, the 14th chapter, and we'll start at the 3rd verse, the Lord said that when he's getting ready to come to deliver us, these are the things that would be happening, and they're happening and have been happening. This is Isaiah 14:3. And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. So when the Lord is about to give us rest, remember that there remaineth a rest to the people of the Lord, there will be a certain amount of events that would be taking place. And what are those events that will be taking place? Well, let's read some of them. It says that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon. So there will be a proverb. Let's see, there's a precept there. What does that say? Proverb, let's see, that's the 4th verse. Or taunting speech. And what's more of a taunting speech than the Lord's going to destroy you devils, you're going down, you know, and pretty much making mockery of them the same way that Elijah made mockery of the prophets of Baal. You see? So we're pretty much taunting these devils. That's why they're putting in legislation, they're building up their cases, they're firing false witness accusations and different articles and, you know, different news, you know, about the Israelites, and trying to connect them with extremist groups, trying to connect them with terroristic groups, trying to connect them with trying to connect us with Islam and all of that. Because that's the only weapon that Esau has, is a carnal weapon. Because the blessing that he got was a sword. He didn't get, you know, the blessing of anything spiritual. That's why his logic is, if you can't explain it, it doesn't exist, or it didn't happen. That's why you see him fusing chemicals together, you know, digging up relics around the world to tangibly believe the things that are written in the Bible, because they don't believe otherwise, because they are a carnal man. They are not spiritual. So this is the word for proverb. This proverb, the word is mashal. Proverb, parable, proverb, proverbial saying, aphorism, byword, similitude, parable, poem, sentence of ethical wisdom, ethical maxims. Yeah, so pretty much it's a mocking. It's pretty much mocking these devils. All right, now I've seen this word before. I'm pretty sure I looked it up, but I don't remember what it means. The word aphorism. So let's look that up real quick. I mean, I've read that before. I've seen it before. I probably even looked it up before. But there's a lot of words in the dictionary, so you ain't gonna be able to remember everyone. It says aphorism, a short, pithy, instructive saying. So let's look up the word pithy. Let me see something. Because pretty much it says an instructive saying. And what is the instructive saying that we're giving them? We're giving them the instructive saying of the Lord is going to destroy you. And there is a direction that the Lord is leading this whole thing. It says concise and full of meaning. Yeah, and this is a concise and full of meaning thing that we're telling these devils. And pretty much it's a warning, but it's not a warning of, you know, get yourself together or else. It's a warning of it's going down. And this is how it's going to go down. And it's going down soon. And it's not a goddamn thing you could do. That's why it's like a taunting parable, you know, or is a taunting parable. So the Lord said when he's about to give us rest, that will be happening. And you see it happening. That's why we're on the streets cursing them out. That's why in Isaiah 13:1, it says, the burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see, lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain. The banner is the Bible. The high mountain is America. Exalt the voice unto them. Shake the hand. And that's what we're doing. We're cursing them out. When you exalting your voice and cursing them out, or shaking the hand, you're cursing somebody out. And the way we're cursing them out is through the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and instructing them in the things that are coming for them. You know? It says that they may go into the gates of the nobles. See, and that's the because really, when you look at it, these senators and congressmen and all that, they ain't shit. They don't hold no power. The power really goes to the international banking families. You know, these you know, senators and all, those are just puppets. And the ones that don't play ball, they get rubbed out. Ask Sonny, you know, from Sonny and Cher, Sonny Bono. He tried to, you know, do right, and they did him wrong. Hey, I wasn't trying to be funny, but hey, that's how it came out. All right, so going back to Isaiah 14:5, it says that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how have the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. Yeah, so you're coming to an end. And this is why you're mounting this assault on us. And this is why you're putting so many laws and executive orders into place that you'll call upon in this time to stop all form of truth. But the main truth that is the most damaging and the biggest threat is the truth of the Hebrew Israelites, or who they really are. So-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Because if we were just some bugged out individuals and they didn't take us serious, they wouldn't waste so much time, resources, and energy, you know, and money on trying to debunk what we teach. They'll say, oh, there's some crazy spicks and some crazy niggas, you know, leave them alone. You know? They will leave us alone. But they know that what we're teaching is very impactful. Because there is proof, you know, and you see the zeal and the effect that it's causing around the world, waking up Israelites all over the earth. And this is something that the Lord said would be happening in these times. He will show these signs. You know, the tokens that he will show is that the books will be opened in the firmament of heaven, and that people shall see all together. And that's why the Lord allowed them to invent the internet, because knowledge shall increase. And the reason why the internet was invented was to do the heavy lifting for this truth. And boy, has it done some heavy lifting. And it's woken up a lot of people. The word is going out there in many different languages, you know. So it goes on to say, the Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger, is persecuted, and none hindereth. Yeah. So you're being persecuted by the Lord. And eventually the Lord's going to take you down to where when you go down, the whole earth is going to be at peace, as it says when you read further down. And this is why they're so upset. So now let's go to Revelation 12. And 12. Revelation 12 and 12. It says, Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth, meaning the entire planet, and of the sea. For the devil, which is Esau, the so-called white man, beginning with the international banking families, is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he has but a short time. And that's what's happening right now. And in the meantime, and in between time, as he's mounting this assault, it says in the 10th verse, and I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength, and the kingdom of our power, and the power of his anointed. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night. And the word there goes back to the word katagoreo, which is category. And this is why they're putting us into categories. See, Esau's thing is he has to identify things. You know, they're not spiritual, so they have to put everything into categories. You know? So the best way to destroy somebody is by what? By breaking down their credibility. By saying false things about them. By showing bad decisions or bad things that they do. But they're not doing it because it's truth. They're doing it because they're falsifying these things. They're demonizing us. But that's all right, because this is all a part of the plans of the Most High. It's got to go down. Yahushua said, if you were of the world will love his own. So obviously we're not of the world, because if that was the case, everything that we said would be accepted by everybody. You know? Everybody. Inside joke, man. Everybody. Oh, that nut. Anyways. Wow. Alright, let's go back to 2nd Ezra 15. Oh, man. So, 2nd Ezra 15 and verse 18. It says, I started at 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. See? So that's what we're witnessing right now. You know? We're witnessing the city's about to be troubled. And now you notice, every time you look at the prices of goods, they're steady rising. You know? And it's like, before you have something to rise up maybe 2 cents, and it'll be a while before it goes up, then it might go down 1 cent or 2, you know. But now it's like they'll rise up 2 cents, and about a week later it'll rise up another cent or 2 or 3, you know. Then it might go down 1 cent, but then it goes up again another 5 cents, you know. So there's a fluctuation in the prices of stuff because of inflation, because the dollar is being constantly devalued. And they had this devil, Spike Lee, pushing out new money, a thing that he got now called new money, where he's pushing digital currency because the old dollars are no good anymore. So they're using these lesser luminaries to push their agenda, which we've said that before, that they were going to do that. You know? So a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of lack of bread and for great tribulation. And that's what's coming, great tribulation, the time of trouble. Now let's go from there to 2nd Ezra 16th chapter and the 67th verse down. Excuse me. Behold, the Most High himself is the judge. Fear him, leave off from your sins, and forget not your forget your iniquities, to meddle no more with them forever. So shall the Most High lead you forth and deliver you from all trouble. And this is what we're looking for, deliverance from all trouble. That's what we're looking for, is a deliverance from all trouble. And that's what's coming upon the earth. Matter of fact, let me look up that word trouble. I'm not sure if I looked that up in the Common Dictionary. I probably did, just don't remember. But let's see what that says. I got that stupid song playing in my head now. It's trouble, a source of difficulty, an angry disturbance, an event causing distress or pain, an effort that is inconvenient, a strong feeling of anxiety, an unwanted pregnancy, to cause inconvenience or discomfort to, disturb in mind or make uneasy or cause to be weary or alarmed, take the trouble to do something, concern oneself, cause bodily suffering, and make sick or indisposed. And a bunch of synonyms and antonyms. So it says a source of difficulty. Number 2, an angry disturbance. Number 3, an event causing distress or pain. Number 4, an effort that is inconvenient. Number 5, a strong feeling of anxiety. And well, that's the main ones. So this is what's coming. A time of distress, a time of trouble. And that's why it says, let's read this real quick before we read any more in 2 Ezra 16. Let's go to Daniel chapter 12. Daniel 12 and 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, see, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book, meaning the elect that are found written in the book, meaning that are found to be written among the election. So going back to 2 Ezra 16 and 68, for behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols, which is dealing with these so-called concentration camps, detention centers, prisons, large warehouses, wherever they plan on storing these people in high concentrations, you know. And it's not built for comfort. It says, and they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot. And yeah, you sellouts, you're going to be just as bad as the ones that you sold out. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. That's why the name of the title is, especially in these times. Because we're going to need that help. We're going to need that faith. We're going to need all the help we can get, because Yahweh Bashim Al Shai is not going to be playing in that time, you know. So the time to get right with the Lord is before all hell breaks loose. It says they shall be like madmen, sparing none. Why? Because the fury of the Lord is going to be upon them. These different militaries and, you know, and whoever they get to do their bidding. It says, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord, the Israelites. So the main ones that are going to get hit are the Israelites. This is the main threat. This is what you got to get into your head. Esau's trying to do away with us. He's trying to genocide us off so that he can get the blessing and, you know, the birthright back. But it's not going to happen, man. Because it was foretold even before the boys were born that Jacob was going to be the one that's going to get all the inheritance. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, because the Lord is going to lift up that standard. He's going to have that spiritual intervention. And they shall be tried as gold in the fire. And that's what we're going through right now. And Lord's will, we be the elect. It says, hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord. Behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. And that's what we're waiting for. When the day of trouble comes, the Lord will deliver us from the time of trouble. Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for the Most High is your guide. Now let's go from there to the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 2. We're going to read verses 1 and 2. That's why it says, despise not thou the chastening of the Lord, because we may not understand it, but what the Lord is really doing when he's putting us to what he's putting us to is he's making us stronger mentally. so that when these things start happening, we'll have an upper hand to everyone else that has been laden carelessly with this harlot America, and in that comfort zone. So when hell breaks loose, those people that are comfortable, they're soft. They're not going to be grunts. They're going to be soft. So Ecclesiastes 2:1, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. And the hour of temptation is coming. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Because that's all we could do, is just keep crying out to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, to protect us in these times. Now let's go from there to the same book. Let's go to the 40th chapter in the 24th verse. And it says, Brethren and help are against time of trouble. See, that's why the brotherhood is so important. And help, what help is it speaking about? Speaking about the help from Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Brethren and help are against time of trouble. What makes me think of the situation with Daniel, how he had favor with the eunuch, the guard, of the prison. The Lord can make it to where certain brothers may be caught up in a certain situation, and the Lord will put the spirit on one of the guards there to let the brothers go. Hey, anything is possible, man. Anything is possible. Especially with Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So it says, brethren and help are against time of trouble, but alms shall deliver more than them both. But we know that brethren and help, which is the help, which is help that, pretty much that you give, I'm looking at it as help from the Most High, but it's really help that brothers give, as in charity. But it says alms shall deliver more than them both. But the point is that brethren and help are against time of trouble. That's why Yahweh said, store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt. Why? Because those treasures will be able to be withdrawn from in the time of troubles that are coming. And knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. Now the last precept I have, let's go to Psalms, the 124th chapter. This is one of my most favorite chapters of the scriptures. Psalms 124:1. If it had not been the Lord who was on our side, now may Israel say, if it had not been the Lord who was on our side when men rose up against us, then they had swallowed us up quick when their wrath was kindled against us. And that's what's coming. That's what the Lord said. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. Then the waters had overwhelmed us. The stream had gone over our soul, which is these troops of the military, because they're going to come hard. FEMA troops and whatever other troops they got. Then the proud waters had gone over our soul, which is Esau with his militaries. It says, blessed be the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, who have not given us as a prey to their teeth. See? Because the Lord is going to protect his elect. Our soul is escaped as a bird out of the snare of the fowlers. The snare is broken and we are escaped. So brothers can be caught up in a prison or a concentration camp, and the Lord can break them out like he did Peter. And that's why the scriptures are comfort. Men of the Lord found themselves in certain predicaments and were delivered from it. So let's read that again. Our soul is escaped as a bird out of the snare of the fowlers. With fowlers are the bird catchers. The snare is a trap. The snare is broken, or the trap is broken, and we are escaped. Our help is in the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, who made heaven and earth. And praise ye the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, for that, for giving us those names. And Barakatah Yahweh Bashem Yahushai for giving us the inspiration to uphold, uplift, proclaim, shout out, exalt, magnify those names, extol them to the clouds. And every chance that we get, every time that we get a chance to, So this has been, especially in these times, keep your eyes focused, keep your eyes single, because the time is fast approaching where there's going to be a great onslaught against the people of the Lord, the Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, and the Israelite foreigners, wherever they may be, whatever they may look like. You know, we're heading to these turbulent times, but there is help, and our helps are in the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. So just keep doing what you've been doing. You know, keep the faith. You know, keep the works going. Whatever lot the Lord gave you, you know, fulfill that lot to the best of your ability. Don't be half-stepping. You know, don't be just doing just enough. If you're in that spirit, you know, pray the Lord to take that spirit off you. Because once the shit goes down, when the shit goes down, you better be ready. You better be ready. I mean, it's an inside joke, you know, of this particular song, but it's the truth. Because the shit is about to go down, man. Esau's ship is about to go down, and the shit is about to go down. SHTF, you know? Shit hit the fan scenario. So with that, I pray that you brothers have been edified, you few sisters. To the next time I say shalom.